Hello guys, I'm the Kegman, welcome to Kegman Plays and welcome to my top 11 French Wonderkids video. Now we previously done a video like this using English Wonderkids. Basically we're setting up a playing 11 based out of Wonderkids we can find from each nation. There are certain parameters to take into account. We're going to take into account cost, we're going to take into account current ability and potential ability as well. Now you are going to disagree with some of my choices, there is no denying that. In fact, if you go back and look at the English Wonderkids 11, which I believe is now up in that corner over there, you will find there's a couple of people in there, or a couple of controversial decisions, and the same will be said probably for this video too. That being said, if you disagree with a player, do let me know in the comments below. Give me a reason why you think someone else should be there or someone shouldn't be there, and we'll have a look. Let's get into it. So in goal, we're going to go with Alban Lafont. I really like this player anyway. I've used him in a couple of saves. He's a fantastic goalkeeper. He's 20, he's from Nantes. He's already going to be very good if you stick him in goal from the off. Now, I believe he is first choice at Nantes. He's going to cost you probably around about 20 to 25 million pounds, maybe more. If you go through the motions of declaring interest, scouting him, you'll probably be able to get his cost down by a fair bit. Let's have a look. His current ability is 130, his potential is 146. He's not going to be the most outstanding player in the world, but a 146 potential for a goalkeeper isn't that bad at all. Again, take into account cost, other players who are available, and current ability. I think this is the man you should be picking for your goalkeeping position. So for my centre-back pairing, I'm picking Benoit Badiashile first. I really like Benoit Badiashile. He gets a little bit of I think he's underrated in this game. His quality. Look at him. He's 18 years old. He's 194 centimetres tall, which is around about 6'6", I believe. Really good physicals. Does need a little bit of work on maybe pace and some strength, as well as maybe a bit of stamina. But otherwise, really, really good. He will cost around about £3.5 million. He's not the most expensive player, which is why I picked him. You can see in my version of the game, his current ability is 110 and his potential ability is 142. Now, these potentials can change. It should be worth noting that these potential abilities can be changed back and forth. In fact, I believe in a previous recording, on a previous save for this, his potential was 130. So these potentials can go up and down. But I really rate Benoit. I think he's fantastic. Alongside Benoit, I'm going to go with Malang Sarr. Now, Malang Sarr at Nice is going to cost a bit more money. He's probably going to cost you around about 15 to 20 million pounds. Again, you go through the motions of declaring interest and scouting him and trying to get him interested in joining you and get him for cheaper. His current ability is 130, his potential is 156, he's 6'1", his physicals are really, really good. He's 20, he's a little bit older than Badiashile, but you could develop him into a libero if you wanted to use free centre-backs. As a ball-playing defender, he is fantastic. He's got a long way to go. On the left wing-back position, or in the left wing-back position, should I say, I'm going to go with Arthur Zaga. The reason I'm going to go with Arthur Zaga is he's cheaper than Ryan Aït-Nouri. Normally has slightly higher ceiling too. He's a really good wing-back. He can cross, he can dribble. He's got a little bit of marking work to do, tackling work to do. A couple of the physicals might need a little bit of an edge, like pace and acceleration. But he's 17, and he's already that good. He could cost you as little as £2.2 million as well. I have bought him for really, really cheap. Current ability is 105, potential is 147. He's not ever going to be a world beater, but he's just a lot cheaper than Ryan Aït-Nouri, who will cost you around about £18 million. So on the opposite flank, right wing back, it is going to be Colin Dagba, the 20-year-old from PSG too. I'm going to go for him as opposed to someone like Jan Valery. Jan Valery will probably cost you around about 25 to 30 million. He's already rated at £10 million. I like Colin. I've used him before as well in a save. In fact, I used him with Zaga on the opposite wing. Really good young player. He's 20 years old. His physicals are pretty good. Does need to work on his pace if you want to use him as wing back, and probably his stamina too. Use a couple of points there, but he can cross and he can dribble. He's not going to be cheap. He's at PSG. They do like to overprice their players. His current ability is 121 and his potential is 145. He could become a very good player. Again, he's not going to be a world beater, but he will become a solid wing back for you. So, midpoint. Before we get to the midfielders, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, follow me over on Twitch at twitch.tv/kegmanplays. Links below. Let's do it. Defensive mid. I was looking at people like Claudio Gomez at one point, but to be honest, Man City want crazy money for him. So I ended up going for Yusuf Fofana. He's at Monaco. He's currently worth 975. He's listed for loan. He's wanted by a lot of clubs. He becomes a pretty damn good player. He's already quite a solid player too. I don't know if you could retrain him into a DM. If you ever want to re-DM a DC, some people like to use DMs and retrain them as DCs to become ball-playing defenders. I am amongst them. I like to do it, but unfortunately his jumping reach and his heading is pretty low. He can, however, become a great midfielder. Again, potential is 145, current is 112. He's never going to be outstanding. It'll probably cost you around about £7.5 million, but for £7.5 million, you've got yourself a nice little tidy player. He's 18 years old, he's at Bordeaux. He'll be one of the cheaper options to buy, purely because he's at Bordeaux. He's still going to be quite expensive. You're probably looking around about the £15 million mark. But look at his attributes for an 18-year-old. As a Mazzala on attack, he can basically slide straight into that role. Does need to work on a few things. Anticipation, for example. Work rate's a little bit low. But my first go-to with this player would be to work on endurance anyway. Get his stamina up to 15, get his work rate up, which working on endurance does. He's currently rated at 121. He's got a potential of 169 as well. Again, price point, I think is probably the best option. Mikhail Kisons becomes a better player, but unfortunately he is at Bayern Munich, if I remember rightly. And Hannibal Mejbri is also at Manchester United. Bayern Munich, Manchester United, respectively. There are other options out there as well, Maxence Caqueret, but again, they're going to cost a lot more money because of the clubs they're at. On the left wing, I'm going to pick 15-year-old Rayan Cherki from Olympique Lyon. He's 15. His stats look underwhelming, I know, but you got to remember he is 15. Really good flair as well, which is quite nice in a winger. I like having wingers as a flair. You could retrain him in the centre mid. He's already kind of useful in centre mid. Maybe as an enganche, maybe as a shadow striker, but he's going to be very, very good. He's not going to be cheap again, but he's got a 92 current ability, a potential of 167, so nearly double the amount of ability that he has now. He's going to be really good. He won't be cheap, however. Lyon do like to hold on to their midfielders, and they especially like to hold on to their young midfielders. Based on my experiences with Lyon. Centre-backs, however, they'll let go quite happily, but midfielders, I don't know what it is. They just seem to like to hold on to him. He won't be cheap. You're probably looking around about £10 million for this player, but he can use both feet. He's just superb. Pick him up. Pick him up. So, controversial pick, possibly, but an obvious pick nonetheless. Kylian Mbappe. Yeah, I know. Some of you might be saying that no, he's a striker. I prefer to use him on the wing, and it also means I've got the opportunity to use someone else up front for this particular 11. But a very, very good player nonetheless. I'm using him as a wing here. You could use him as a striker. His jumping reach and his heading aren't very good, and neither is his height, so you can't really use him as a complete forward. You'd be able to use him as like a poacher or sort of like a nippy striker. But I think as a winger, he is well suited, especially as an inside forward. Obviously, he can come in, he can score goals, he can get crosses in. Just superb. The only downside is he's going to cost you ridiculous amounts of money. He's probably going to cost you somewhere between 150 to 200 million pounds. His current ability is 181. His potential is 196. He does become, or can become, the best player in the game, and that is purely the reason why he's in this AMR role. In attacking midfield, I am going to use Florent da Silva, 16-year-old from Olympique Lyon. Again, it's not going to be cheap. Valued at 86 grand currently. He is 16. He's got a little bit of work to do, but some of his mentals are pretty good, and his physicals definitely need working on. But with a natural fitness of 14, whatever you do to him, he will hold on to that when he gets older. Natural fitness is a fantastic attribute that a lot of people underrate, but it's fantastic. He's not going to be cheap. His current ability is 86. His potential is 152. He can become a absolute world beater of a player if you give him the right training. I like him as a shadow striker. I've seen him used as a shadow striker, and apparently he is a very good shadow striker, according to a couple of friends of mine. I've seen how he develops in game. I'm currently using an Eindhoven save on my Twitch channel, which I recommend you come and watch. And I've nearly signed him. He was very, very good. Unfortunately, I just could not afford him. But I'm going to use him as my pick for the AMC role. Finally, up front, we're going to go with Amine Gouiri. Now, Amine Gouiri is a player that some of you probably have heard of if you've been playing FM20 for a little while, or indeed if you know French football. I'm not a massive fan of French football, but a great finished player. I say finished? He's a greatly accomplished player already at 19 years old. He's 180 centimeters tall, does need to work a little bit on his mental and physical attributes, mostly physical, but at 19 you can still mould him into a great player. As you can see, he's wanted by a lot of teams here, Chelsea, Liverpool, City, United, Tottenham. There's a reason I'm picking him. He's valued at $1.5 million, it'll probably cost you around $17.5 million, but what a player he can be. Current ability is 118, potential 153, as you can see at 118, targeted training for a striker, he'll become an absolute belter who could probably stick 40 goals past your opposition every season. There we go, guys. That is my top 11. Now, obviously, if you've got any comments to make on that, if you disagree, please do let me know in the comments below. Tell me who you would replace that particular role with. Follow me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/kegmanplays. Links will be down below. I do stream Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday from 8 o'clock-ish. Subject to change because of work. Follow me on Twitter. Again, there'll be links below, and I'll give you a rough update on when we're going to be starting. And I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Take it easy, folks. Bye-bye.